I wanted to ask you about these guidelines on media access. And the reason I'm asking you, and I'll do it as quickly as I can, is that your office, when I look at it, is a party to them. Although DPI is one party, so is DSS, so is Office of the Spokesman of the Secretary General, so is UNCA. So I'm asking about these policies because it's unclear to me, one, when they go into effect. Two, there's a policy that would say there are no flyers allowed, including substantive flyers, for example, critical of the lack of a table in front of the Security Council. And a flyer was just yesterday defaced on my office door and the office door of FUNCA. So I wanted to know, number one, since you're a party to the agreement, you should know when they're going into effect, right?
I believe, Matthew, that DPI is in contact with you. I spoke with Stéphane Dujarric this morning. He told me he's in contact with you.
He's in contact with you, but I'm getting absolutely zero answers. For example, I've raised the defacement of the flyers.
The
I've raised the
answers
question
you
of
get
the
have
table.
to come from him. They are responsible
for this agreement. That's why I'm asking you.
They are responsible. They will get back to you. That is the information I have from Stéphane Dujarric. Well, you keep on asking. We'll keep on asking Stéphane Dujarric, and we'll...
Was your office consulted before it was said there'd be no table in front of the Security Council?
Yes.
Okay, and you agree with it? So
Yes.
That's why, okay, so that's making his position. Great.
Well, there is, we run the office space. Journalists are given office space in this building, to the best of my knowledge, free of rent, to be able to do their work. And that is where you have to do your work.
This is great. I appreciate this, because the only thing I want to ask you is this. Prior to the Security Council's move down to the basement, there was always a table there. And I will explain to you why it's useful. No matter how big the offices are upstairs, if you're there, you can speak to ambassadors going in and out. They don't all leave at the same time. And there's meetings held by the President of the Council with ICRC and other groups that you want to cover. And this guideline will prohibit that kind of coverage.
That will not prohibit. You will be allowed to stand in the brief...
If you want to stand for 4 hours.
Well, that's the way it is, Matthew.
There's space for a table.
That's the way, Matthew, that's the way it is.
Press access.
There's not a decrease in the press office. In the press access. And to say that there's a decrease in the press access is simply
formal meeting
silly.
of the council. I'm sorry, I don't mean
You can stand there and wait along with every other journalist.
Which says when they're not in a formal meeting, you shouldn't be there. But the president can be in holding bilaterals. For example, on the first day of June, the UK will hold bilaterals there. But under this rule, you're not supposed to stand there.
Well, we always announce when a member state is coming out, and right now all they have to do is go down one.
That's not.
We all.
That's
I'm sorry.
Susan Rice left yesterday, and that wasn't announced. I happened to be there, so I asked her about Sudan.
Whenever the missions ask us to announce it, we announce it.
I asked your office to reconsider that policy.
Well,
it's
I don't
a major decrease in access.
It is not a major decrease.
I'd like to know. I guess UNCA has signed off on it too.
It is not a major decrease.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You'd said that you'll tell DPI of these concerns, and I would echo those, but I would again reiterate this concern about the draft media access guidelines, which would limit media workspace in front of the Security Council, the posting of flyers, substantive in the area, and keep all but resident correspondents out of the delegates' lounge. I'd like you to convey that to them, and also to ask when those guidelines, it hasn't been explained to me, when they would actually go into force, and therefore whether there's an opportunity to really get the Secretary General to speak, whether he stands behind them.
Well, that question is up to you and DPI to handle. I've already answered that as much as I've answered last week.
The agreement.
You've got the answer we've given. If you want any more information, you're in contact with DPI, do it with DPI. With respect to reports on Darfur, we have a UNAMID visited the area, and there have been no indications of any armed forces presence in that sector. From
Southern Kordofan? They visited Southern Kordofan?
No, they haven't visited Southern Kordofan, but we'll have to check on that. But so far, their analysis is that there is no foreign presence there.